Have you ever had this happen to you where you're playing your favorite area control game and people are just amassing huge forces in the same region turn after turn and just building up their armies in hopes to eliminate the other player and in the end just camping in a region? Today I want to talk to you about a game that changes the way we think about area control with adding points of new goals coming out, requiring you to try to control specific regions each round. And one step further, being able to shift around the regions so that you're constantly changing the board and the way the board works to better get to regions you want to be in. The game is Mysthea by Tabula Games. You might have heard of them for a past project called Barbarians. Currently the project is fully funded right now, $233,000 of its $67,000 goal. The base pledge is about $105, looking like it's gonna ship in December of 2018. The game is for 2 to 4 players, and it's kind of a sci-fi themed game where you take on a champion who is exploring these uncharted floating isles and trying to take control of that for its faction. So what's really unique about this game is that it's pushing the boundaries of area control. Whereas usual area control games bring you into realms of amassing forces and just trying to attack each other, combat in this game is actually downplayed. Combat is there and within this game, but usually it takes place with you playing with secretly under the table pulling one of 4 different color cards, and those cards you play choose what you do in that battle rather than rolling dice. So are you retreating? Are you trying to just grab victory points? Are you trying to destroy your enemy's forces? It's very interesting in how that works. And the other things to note are monsters are deployed randomly into regions, which you will have to work with your opponents to actually take down these monsters because they're huge. And one person would have great difficulty taking one down themselves. The game's most interesting feature has got to be the attunement action, where you can use your champion character, your main character, and you can take this action to move their center. You can kind of center the island they're floating on and reshift the other ones and then fill in the empty slot with the one you're on. Because movement in this game, you have to move from one region of the same type, so like fog, forest, crystal, you got to move from one to the same type and an adjacent one. It kind of limits where you can move. So moving around and rearranging the floating islands is really huge in order to movement. Lastly, one of the things to talk about is scoring. Each round you're going to flip over a new card which is going to score different points for regions and going to shift the past scoring for different regions. And it's going to shift your focus each round on what's going to score you the most points to occupy different regions and really kind of eliminate the camping problem that you find in area control games. And I really think this game is trying to do something very different and very unique. Lastly, replayability. You start with one of 4 different color cards. So you get 4 cards, each a different color is what I mean to say. And they're all going to be different each game you play. And you're going to start with those and you're going to buy different abilities and you play these down as kind of empowerments to your action, or you can put them down as permanent abilities that affect ongoing things on your player board. And so this really creates a unique starting point for each player, starting with different abilities, and every game you're going to start with something different, so you can't just choose to play the same style. You might have to adapt to what you were dealt in that initial startup. So what's the verdict? In the end, I think this game is really trying to push into people who are normally anti-area control games like myself. I'm I like games that have some area control aspects. Like Scythe has some of that, but it's not the focus. You have lots of other stuff you can do, and I like how it's bringing that into this game. It's not just a full-on Risk, just head-to-head like I showed in the opening. It's really interesting how they're playing that. So I think everybody should go and take a look at this game. And check it out soon because it ends on March 29th. Yep, March 29th. So go check it out on Kickstarter and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.